Previously on We Promise Nothing.
Don't go, E.T. We're about to do a podcast and you can be in it.
Ow.
E.T., hurry up. We got a party to attend to at Gamma Sector 6.
And now, this week's episode. Hi, everybody. This is Jpar, and...
What? Bada bing! Is this Gamma Sector 6?
Aren't you the alien that called E.T. onto his ship last week?
What? You got a problem with aliens now?
Well, no, it's just that was a skit. In the movie, E.T. never really had a brother.
What? You got a problem with fictitious brothers now? What, you got a problem with inconsistencies?
No, never that. I just want to do a podcast with my friends, okay?
Oh, what? Because you got a podcast? You some kind of big shot now?
No, I'm sorry, E.T.'s bully brother.
Hey, Jpar, are we doing a podcast or what?
I don't want to talk about it.
What? You some kind of baby now? Hey, leave Jpar alone, man. We got a show to do. Aren't you a fictitious character we made up last week anyways? How are you even here? What? You a tough guy now because you break the fourth wall all of a sudden? Wow, you really are a bully. Alright, I don't think you'd be on the podcast this week, Jpar. See ya. What? I'm talking here. I'm E.T.'s older brother, BT. This is my show now.
Show. Tonight, we have Kathy, Lipp, Robin, and the Boo. But before we get started, just like to give a big shout out to soundslikeanearful.com for all that awesome music that we use on the show. If you want free music for your podcast, then check them out. soundslikeanearful.com. Tonight, we are going to be reviewing the first of 4 of our Halloween movies. Woo, spooky. Tonight, we reviewed The Changeling, so that'll be the first one, which was the most popular request on our Facebook, YouTube, and other outlets. Or my Facebook, more specifically. Not even YouTube. Comment on YouTube, people. That's where I want to see the comments. Let's actually just jump right into the review tonight. We did a funny little skit tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We got a few more in store for you. We're going to just jump right into the review right now. The Changeling. I'm going to give you guys a few stats on this. It's directed by Peter Madak, and it's starring George C. Scott, Trish Van Devere, Melvin Douglas, amongst others. And it was distributed by Associated Film Distributors. Released March 28th, 1980. That's the US and Canada. And it's actually a Canadian film, which is nice. Big shout out to Canada. And it's got a budget of $600,000, and it made $5.3 million at the box office. And so I'd like to introduce everyone to the panel tonight. Everyone say hi.
Hello. Yo. Hi. Hey.
All right, so we're going to review The Changeling. Who wants to go first?
Well, the first time I had watched The Changeling, I was very young, and I remember it being one of the very few movies that really freaked me out. Now that I watch it now, I don't find it as scary at all. More suspenseful than anything else. I still found it enjoyable, although it was a little long at parts. I still enjoyed the movie, and I still maintain that kids are creepy. So
yeah, that's definitely a theme that goes on quite often in movies. I find is the creepy kid theme.
Yeah.
And there was definitely a lot of themes that you've seen repeated from this movie, but I'd imagine a lot of it is actually influenced by this movie, especially that ball bouncing down the stairs. That was definitely something I've seen influenced and spoofed in other movies before, and it comes from that. And what do you think, Robin?
I thought it was suspenseful, the way horror movies in that era were made. I thought that it was a little slow to the get-go. Even for a suspenseful movie, it was slower than most. But the payoff was was interesting enough, and the journey to find the answers was interesting enough.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, there's a mystery to it. So, guess we'll give a brief explanation. This guy goes to the house, right? You guys help me fill in the spots, the holes.
Well, see, there's this house, eh?
There's this house, right?
Well,
Alright, John Russell, a composer living in New York, moves cross-country to Washington State, following the death of his wife and daughter in a traffic accident, which happens at the opening of the movie. Okay, so John rents a large, old, and eerie Victorian-era mansion and begins piecing his life back together. However, John soon discovers that he has unexpected and unwelcome company in his new home, the unhappy ghost of a murdered young boy.
George C. Scott was way too old for his movie wife and daughter, just saying.
Absolutely.
Way too old.
Wouldn't you say that was quite common culturally, though?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
even back for that time, it was.
Back for that time. Nowadays,
Nowadays, it's not even that much more different, but
it's not different at all. They've been commenting on it a lot lately.
no surprise.
Well, aside from that, Boo, what did you think of The Changeling?
I'll agree. It was slow paced. I don't know. It's not my style of horror. I love suspense. That's the one thing I love that I relied on the most out of this movie, because to me it was the only thing that drove me from wanting to see from 1 minute to the next. No word of a lie. But I think with that said, it had its interesting little moments. I think the creepiness really rings a bell. I think from most people's point of view, it was the use of the ball bouncing down the stairs, and coming back from the depths. Things like that, I just kind of allowed me to enjoy it. I just got to the point though where it was just one scene too many, where it just dragged on for too long. I don't know. I didn't really get my attention, but it was different. I'll say that.
What about you, Lipp? Comments?
Well, this is the first time I've seen it. I've not seen it before. It was decent, I guess. I've seen some horror films from the 1980s era. Some I would say are probably better than that. It's like Dave said, it's a suspenseful thriller, and really, the whole mystery is what drives you to continue to watch. There's tons of creepiness just in, everything the house can do. But, I don't know.
Influenced by the spirit of this boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found, I was kind of wondering when I was sitting in this, and I was like, okay, when does this get scary? And then it's kind of like that part where he's listening to the tape, or I guess the recording after they did the seance, and then you witness the whole, I guess, of the events of the father murdering the young boy. Spoiler. Hey, if spoilers, you should be skipping this part if you haven't seen this movie.
Someone dies. Ah.
Oh yeah, go yeah. Someone dies in a thriller. Wow, what a surprise. But anyways, yeah, that part was just creepy as all fuck. Like the kid's creepy voice and the creepy music, and then you finally learn what that pounding sound is. You find out what that is, which is kind of makes it even creepier. So yeah,
I thought it
was
had
there any interesting?
Actually, there was one interesting little detail I thought was pretty cool for me. Anyway, even though I didn't quite like the idea that it was overused, but then I realized the ring had that same effect on me. But that use of that well, I don't know. There's wells in most of these horror movies nowadays, where there's always something lurking in a goddamn well. What is up with that?
Well, like I said, I feel like a lot of movies have been influenced by this movie, right? It's probably...
Oh, yeah, no, it's safe to say it wouldn't so much this one had done it, first. They all land on one another, I think. In terms of that idea of relying on a well, I don't know. I don't know why someone has to always have to hide something in something so obvious.
Yeah, a lot of familiar themes. Murdered children and wells and haunted houses.
Then again, you really can't see at the bottom of a well normally, so it's generally a good spot, because no one would go down there. No one could see down there generally. And back in the day, cement wasn't readily available, so dumping people in the water, like in the lakes or whatever, could easily be found and seen later on down the road, or washed ashore or whatever. And I think it was just probably the most, the most discreet place to dump a body at one point.
It was the 1900s.
Yeah.
What are you wanting him to do. He's not going to chemically destroy the evidence. You know,
Yeah,
he's not gonna Heisenberg
He's
him.
never
Yeah, I was gonna say, right?
Oh, look,
Yeah,
a well, a deep, dark chasm from whence nothing returns.
Get a barrel, Jesse.
I see the benefit of the convenience of the well. Don't get me wrong. I just find it funny that it's just always an interesting little tie-in from movie to movie. Hence why I think of my effect from The Ring. I mentioned only that because it was one of those where I felt like they used it almost primarily when they had the girl climbing in and out of it, even for the goddamn commercials. But in this particular case, it happened to be the fact that they built a house over the well. That always kind of made me wonder, who came up with the idea of that, thinking that was a great idea to build something right over top of a well.
Been used again and again. The
Oh, I know.
exact same thing was in one of the Scary Movies.
Oh, was it her?
Yeah, the one making fun of the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie there with the aliens.
The signs,
Signs.
yeah. So that was Scary Movie 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorites, to be honest. But...
Yeah.
Scary Movie 3?
Well, there you
No,
go.
no.
Oh, signs. Okay.
I was gonna say, I like the
those
first
lines
Scary
as
Movie the
well.
best.
The Scary Movie, the franchise has
They
ripped
made fun,
off
everything.
everything.
They actually, the ball thing was ripped off in Scary Movie
Yeah.
2, I believe. It was like a basketball, and then they started playing. It's
Same-
still the Wayans brothers are playing basketball with it.
Same with the wheelchair.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, good point.
That was in that one too, you're right.
Wheelchair race in one movie, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was the same one. That was the same one.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, I realized no one could see that. Sorry.
He just did a motion where he was like pretending to wheel his chair really fast.
Sorry, my French kicked in, guys.
The French kicked in.
Closed captioning.
Ba-da-bing. I don't know.
That's not French.
You're right. That's not French at all. I just wanted to do a shout back to BT for a second. But anyways, back to the Changeling. Let's wrap this up. You went first, Kathy. So, what is your rating for this movie?
I would rate it a 7 just for the suspense because everything.
A what?
A 7?
Out of 5? Wow, you really like this movie, don't you?
I forgot it was out of 5. Blah 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 blah. I'll give it a 3. Just for the suspense.
Downgraded it to a 6. Wow. Not 3.5 stars, which is a 7.
Fine, 3.5 stars, Mr. Picky Pants.
So you want
It's your grade. It's your grade. Whatever you want to do.
3.5.
3.5 would be fine. Like I said, just for the suspense. I don't know, with suspenseful music always gets me too, so I like that as well.
Let's see. What do I do here? It's like you guys said. It's kind of draws long. Some parts. I almost want to just say a 3. I wanted to give it a 3.5, but I don't think that I can. Just because it didn't really hold my interest. Also, I'm not a big suspense thriller buff. It was creepy at moments, I'll give it that. And that's why it doesn't get an awful rating. 3 is still average. 3 is a movie you could still watch and enjoy, which I did. I did enjoy watching it. Once. Is it a movie I'm going to come back to? I don't know. So, 3, definitely you should watch it once, and definitely you'll start seeing the influence into other thrillers and horrors, which is, it's always important to go back and review older movies and to see where this stuff comes from anyways, so, but I think I'm just going to stick with a 3.
Okay, well, I'd give it a 3 as well. It's a Canadian classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a great actor in it, George C. Scott. It's got an amazing score. Love the music.
That is something I will agree. It does got a great score.
Yeah, I enjoyed the music.
But
as well.
it was drawn out a little too long for my liking. It might be because I'm already tired, but I was kind of a little sleepy during the movie. So 3 is all you get.
Boo?
I'm still debating. You guys have me on the fence for a few reasons, but I think for me it more had to do with how slow the pace wasn't enough for me to be that interested. I don't even want to really so much give it a 3, more of a 2.5.
Oh, whoa!
But I say but for the reason being that it is Canadian, and I kind of feel proud in its own right. So it's gone back to 3.
Oh, it gets the Canadian
for me,
0.5.
It's just one of those things where I felt like it's not that it was a bad movie. It was. My interest had dropped more so that it kind of kept itself going throughout the movie. I think someone had even admitted throughout the movie how slow it had fucking picked up in pace. So for me, because of that, I felt like I wanted to lean more towards the 2.5, but it does deserve a 3. You're right.
And Lipp.
Ooh, okay. So this is not like my typical horror movie I enjoy. I prefer the ones that I don't know, kind of like zombie survival, or kind of jump out scary, smash serial killer kind of thing. That didn't have this vibe. I really did love the score, like Robin said. It's like a mystery thriller.
Yeah,
it's very slow compared to the other types of horrors that I watch. But I did appreciate it, and I'm gonna go with the 3 as well.
Yeah.
I'm happy I watched it. It's my first time watching it. But yeah, kind of like Robin, I probably could have caught some Z's there if I wanted to during some of the scenes.
I think you did. All right, so there you have it. Lukewarm feelings about the Changeling. But you know what? View it yourself, and then let us know if you disagree. Then leave a comment below, and maybe we'll rediscuss it or whatever. Or we'll at least mention your comment on the show. Okay, so water on Mars. Shoot, Lipp, what do you got?
Well, NASA discovered water on Mars, but they can't really harvest it yet because they're concerned that it might, the Curiosity rover might have Earth bugs on it. So
Damn Earth bugs!
They got to figure out a way to sterilize, the Mars rover so that it can actually properly gather this water without contaminating it. So we don't destroy any life that might possibly be on Mars.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that'd be fucking amazing.
Would you live on Mars?
I think we already covered that. We covered that.
I'm apparently all by myself on Mars. I will go myself with a sterilized container, and I will go gather the sample myself.
Well, was Robin here for that one?
I think. Was I? Oh no, that was the first one.
I believe it was the
because
first
I
one.
was listening and getting angry because you guys were all making fun of Kathy's question. I thought it was a perfect question.
What question was that?
Would you go live on Mars?
If it were to save the.
I wasn't making fun of it. I probably was,
I
but
thought all of your answers were horrible. By the way, just to let you know.
You're welcome.
okay.
Talk towards the people we are.
Yes, well, that's okay. I wouldn't go to Mars at this point because there's water on Mars. That's a problem for me being a Whovian. Because
what? A Whovian?
Whovian. Doctor Who lover.
Oh, I thought it meant you were from Whoville, like Dr. Seuss.
I would not go there, Jpar, man. I would not go there. Never mind.
With the camera.
Okay.
I will not go there in a boat. I would not go there.
I wish you didn't go there.
Okay, so Doctor Who episode
What?
called "There's a Doctor."
Why are we talking about Doctor Who all of a sudden now?
Fuck off. And that's the first time you'll ever hear me swear, and it'll probably the last
Why do you
time.
turn every conversation into a Doctor Who conversation?
And I'm done.
Go ahead, I'm just joking. What was it?
Never mind.
And then silence. Anyway, so back to this water on Mars thing. So yeah, definitely means potential life. What do you think they're gonna find in there? Like microbes, some weird Mars microbes?
Yeah, little tiny Mars bacteria.
A little bit of hydrogen, a little bit of oxygen.
I have to admit, we know it kind of caught my interest, though, having quickly skimmed over these details. Because I promised nothing, guys. I'm sorry. But salty water flows on Mars.
Yeah, that's what it is. This water is salty.
Reminds
so
me of the fact that we're talking about oceans that once existed, and usually when you see a sea dissipate off the surface of some texture, what's left behind? All the salt. Right?
yeah, right, exactly.
So I'm thinking that's
so it used to be oceans. Like, what if it dries up just during a certain season?
Well,
and then...
wasn't that a concept where it actually used to possibly one day there was oceans on Mars? I think that's what they used to say.
But the water that they found is at the beginning of a new ocean, or is it the
No, I'm saying the
ending
end of
an
one.
old one?
That's what I'm saying. The ending of an old one.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not saying the beginning. I'm There was no such a sense of that. It was the fact that it was the leftovers of whatever used to be there. So when I see salt after water sediments, that makes sense in terms of the oceanic,
like the theory of
bodies, like on these planets. That's pretty much it, though.
Well, it's showing that it's very much possible that there was once life on Mars. And even possible that there's life underground on Mars.
Yes.
It's quite possible that there's little things squirming around down there.
Underground mole rat people.
Yes.
Mole rat people.
ROUSs.
So, the mole rat people. The humans are on the surface. We are the the mat rat mole people.
Dun, dun, dun.
Martians. People. Things. Stuff.
Maybe a non-carbon-based life form. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, nuts. Who knows? Something that we never even thought of before, and we're just that close to discovering it. Or do you think it's just going to be something exactly that you could find on Earth, just slightly altered to live on Mars? To live on Mars.
Like underground?
Well, yeah, and also just because of the atmosphere on Mars is so much different than ours, it would have to, it would survive differently. It wouldn't need as much, like we have a lot more oxygen on Earth. There's not as much oxygen on Mars. So what would have to compensate for that to be a living thing, to be able to take in, I can only base life off of what I know, like what we are, you know what I mean? So I don't know what it would be.
Like a
They
fungus?
need very large lungs.
Very large
I
lungs.
think it'd be the opposite. They'd have tiny lungs for never using them.
I think that, that's what I would think. Tiny
well,
ones.
maybe if they,
Because when the dinosaurs were on the planet, that's why everything was bigger, is because everything, there was more oxygen, larger lungs, they grew bigger.
Was there more oxygen?
Yeah, there was more oxygen.
Oh, tons more.
Well, what if
we couldn't survive.
the things on Mars never needed oxygen?
Well, yeah, that's another
They
thing
breathe a
altogether.
different chemical altogether, or don't breathe.
Or don't breathe.
They absorb what they need through their
Earth.
skin or their membrane or something, through the sand even.
Yeah. Symbiotic.
Hypothetical aliens.
Call Mulder and Scully.
Tiny Rick. But
I think someone did. Isn't X-Files debut on Fox
It'll
this
be
week?
on better soon.
Yeah. Man, Gillian Anderson's looking old.
No, they still look pretty young, both of them.
David Duchovny looks exactly the same.
No, David Duchovny's looking ancient.
he has
Ancient?
aged.
He's
He
getting
has
there.
definitely
No, I think they
aged.
both
Oh, a
look
little
pretty
bit.
good for their age.
I think Gillian Anderson looks great for her age, but I think David Duchovny's been ridden hard and put away wet.
Oh
What?
my. Tell us how you really feel.
Wow.
So you're
He's all
calling him
wrinkly.
stale and soggy? Is that, no?
Wrinkly.
It's a horse metaphor. Never mind.
I love horror metaphors.
Yes, horror metaphors.
Well, you're talking about David Duchovny, so I was assuming you were
Man
talking
horror.
about...
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about horror metaphors.
Well, he had a sex addiction.
Yeah, I like how, Californication was just him playing himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Whatever happened to his wife?
Both literally and metaphorically.
Are they still together? Tia Leone?
No clue.
Yeah, she was on a TV show recently.
Ah, the Muppets. Was it?
Okay, I meant she was in a
No? Who was on Muppets recently?
Well, Muppets is a real TV show.
Yeah, no, I
It was,
meant like a West Wing.
What's her
type
face?
It was What's Her Face.
Thing. Oh, great! What's her face?
Okay, well,
Bernie and whatever make a porno. That girl or what's her name?
Zach and Mary.
Yeah,
like a
they
porno.
yeah.
the one we just watched.
Yeah.
There was a new episode.
There's a new one, and that was
You did not...
Josh Groban.
Yeah,
Josh
and
Groban.
who is Kermit the Frog in the elevator with at the end?
Oh, Leah Thompson.
Oh, Leah Thompson.
Ah, yes, he made a comment at the beginning of the show about Leah Thompson.
Right.
And
For those who don't know, there's a new Muppet Show, and it's actually kind of plays like The Office in a way. So it's like maximum Muppet jokes for the 20-minute watch that you get to watch it. It's pretty good. I like it.
unfortunately, it's not funny.
What?
It's not funny at all
What are you
in
talking
any way,
about?
shape, or form. I don't even get a giggle out of
It's
anything.
Oh
fucking
no!
hilarious.
I thought it was funny. It took me about
It's
an
great.
episode and a half for me to actually get used to the new format again because I was such a fan of the old one. but
You
I
don't
found
like
funny.
it?
I don't even think Waldorf and Statler are funny, and I thought they were the awesomest part of every part of the Muppets.
Oh, wow.
I think it's just not written the same, and
Well,
I
it's
don't like
definitely
the
not
jokes.
written the same. It's more like...
The jokes fall flat on me.
It's kind of like the way The Office is written, or, you know, like the Parks and Rec and those other ones. It's kind of set up like that, and they
When
do
they
the
do
thing.
interviews, like the
Yeah,
side interviews.
and they even make fun of it too.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
Gonzo made fun of that right away. First thing he said, "I hate when people do that." Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes.
So they tried.
What do you mean they tried? It's still going.
They're trying.
I hope people like it because I actually enjoy it. Whatever, it's another take on the Muppets. It doesn't really change their characters that much. At the beginning of every movie, they're playing different. Yeah, I know. Okay, well,
I just don't like it because it's not funny. They want to do whatever they want to do with the characters. Have fun.
all right.
I've never seen it, but it certainly sounds like a different take on it, though.
I've never seen it either. I'll have to see it.
It's
Dave?
Do the
We're gonna
Josh
have to watch
Groban
that.
one. The Josh Groban out of the three.
the three. There's three of them.
There's three of them. So
All right.
I only watched 2.
For someone who doesn't like it, you sure did watch a lot of them.
Because I only,
yeah,
it
saving
wasn't
them.
this
I'm waiting for him to get better. I'm hoping.
Because it wasn't
'Cause I'm cheering
wasn't
for the
Josh
Muppets.
Groban episode 2, and that was just the most recent one.
I thought it was 3, but I'm not sure. I will have to look that up on my phone on this app.
Huh?
Do we have to start beeping you out now? Is that how that works?
I think I'm just gonna add a couple beeps there, and then edit out what I say so it sounds like you just swore. And then people will be like, wait, they say fuck all the time. What word did Robin say
Yeah, that was so terrible.
that we had to go? Oh, that's gonna be the best part of the show.
There's the pilot, and then there's 2 episodes.
Ah, okay. I will have to review.
I'd like to remind everyone that tonight's episode is brought to you by fake advertisements.
Ah.
I'm not feeling fresh.
Ever have that not so fresh feeling? Try Meadow in a can. That's right, all you need is an open earthy location measuring exactly 100 square feet. Then spray, spray, spray. Wait 5 minutes. That's all, 5 minutes. Then you'll have a feel of fresh lavender. Now, roll, 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 roll. You will feel fresh in no time.
May contain poison ivy. Please talk to your doctor if you experience swelling or shortness of breath. Do not use if you are between the ages of 1 to 99 or are a woman or are of human descent.
That's Meadow in a can. Call in 5 minutes and you'll receive this bottle of calamine lotion absolutely free. Call now.
Operators are standing by. What would you do for a cognac bar?
I don't know. Be willing to give you $1 for it.
What would you do for a cognac bar? In a world where a man does a thing that defies all reason, it astounds everyone and yet no one at all. He has a dog named Spot who likes to frolic in the woods. He picks up his mail on Tuesdays and Thursdays. This summer, prepare for the experience that will change your life forever. A movie so epic, your children will mourn your death after you view it. Mom, Dad, go see it. Or will they? Starring award-nominated actors. For what awards, we can't say.
Who?
A lady who looks really good running really slow.
Hubba hubba.
CGI monsters and aliens and or sidekicks.
Oh my god, I want one of those.
And everyone is eating bacon.
Bacon.
Total extreme awesome explosion fest.
Whoa!
With boobs.
Whoa!
In 3D.
Whoa!
In 3 double D.
Whoa!
Coming to a theater near you. This film is not yet rated. Welcome back, everybody. Those are some great advertisements. I hope you people enjoy those and maybe buy or purchase some of the products that we mentioned, or not we, because we didn't do it. I mean, that those people mentioned, because that totally wasn't us. Carrying on, speaking of Jim Henson, the Muppets, so what are some like great like Muppet movies and just great Jim Henson kind of products that are out there?
Well, my favorite Muppets movie is still Muppet Treasure Island, and then Muppets from Space. Muppets from Space. Then they will come. Okay. Pepe makes. I like Pepe. But I do like Tim Curry as well, and just that type of movie itself is what I'm interested in, and that plus the Muppets. So it was just like mind blown, love it. So that was my favorite. I don't know about any like Muppets products per se.
Jim Henson products.
Jim Henson. Yeah, translation. Yeah.
Well, Jim Henson products, I would think would be the great movies like
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The costumes.
Well,
oh, Jesus.
he just did the costumes. That's it. That's not like
That's one of my favorite Jim Henson products. Is the costume from the first Turtles.
What about Labyrinth, Dark
What I was
Crystal?
about to say.
Labyrinth is
and
amazing.
Dark Crystal, which are my favorite.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's what you meant. I wasn't sure what
Well,
you meant
Jim
by
Henson.
products.
Fraggle Rock.
Oh yes, I loved Labyrinth. I don't know. I've always been a Muppet fan though. Sweetums is probably one of my favorite Muppets. He's just this big guy.
I really enjoyed
Very
Labyrinth, even as a kid.
Yeah, a lot of
Labyrinth
people
is-
like Labyrinth.
Labyrinth is amazing.
What's the other one that's kind of like Dark Crystal and
sweet. Legend?
that's not Jim Henson, is it?
No.
No, but I thought you were talking about that.
I think there's
era.
another one.
Mind you, didn't Legend have characters that were almost Jim Henson inspired? I would almost say, because we had those little people in
Little
suits,
people.
and then I kind of felt like a few of them had the that kind of prosthetic look. I don't know. That's just
No,
me,
I
maybe.
don't think.
Probably
No,
not.
I'm not sure.
No.
That's just
But
me,
I have
folks.
to say, Tim Curry makes the best Devil.
ever.
Oh, devil.
He
Oh,
was
yeah.
darkness. He was perfect.
Yes.
Perfection.
Yes.
Sit.
And ironically enough, that in the Muppets, Tim Curry was in that one as well. So a big shout out to Tim Curry! Yay!
He was also in Spamalot,
Yes.
the Broadway.
Yes.
What? Tim Curry was in Spamalot?
He was King Arthur.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be cool to see.
It's very cool. It's on YouTube, the whole thing.
Oh.
Poorly filmed, but
Of course. Alright, so I'm just gonna do a few more some fan interaction stuff here. We got a few comments. Believe it or not, we got a few more comments. Scott says, great show, great review. That was for E.T., the E.T. review. And Tanya says, good job. And okay, here we go. And then there's this comment. Full of juices that carry the spaceship as far as it wants to go. Because when the moon is blood red, the heavens have opened up from above, and the warriors have spoken. Ultimate Warrior. So there's that.
I don't know.
have you lost your ever-loving mind?
No.
That was an actual comment.
Oh,
Mark.
no, that's the Ultimate Warrior I'm speaking of.
Oh. No, it was really there.
No,
Robin.
I didn't put that there.
It really exists.
Have you
It
lost
really
your mind? Why are you reading comments on the show from people who are listening to us? That's awful. No one cares what they think. I'm just kidding. We do care what you think.
No, we don't.
But
Shut up, Boo! Shut up!
Not the Ultimate Warrior. He can just stop right now.
Hold on, he's one of our 3 commenters.
Yeah,
Just
wait
be
a minute. Don't be so hasty, Robin.
Just be more
Ultimate
positive.
Warrior is only one of our 3 commenters, so...
Speaking of wrestling, actually, this is going to be a
Is it
relatively
John Cena related?
Oh,
No.
crap.
Okay,
I was actually-
then we're good.
I was actually rewatching the video for Goonies, and I had forgotten completely that it's a whole cast of really old
It's all
wrestlers. And I didn't know that there was a part 2 to that video either.
Oh, the video with, Cyndi Lauper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Cyndi Lauper, and it has like
Right,
Andre
as
the
Captain
Giant,
Lou
Darren
Albano
Sheik,
and-
Roddy Piper
Yeah.
and all of them. And I completely, like, for some reason, completely forgot till I watched it this morning, and then I had never seen the second part to that video, and I seen that today.
What's the second part?
It's a continuation of the first part.
Oh, okay.
And it just, I don't know, it was really, it was funny as heck.
And if you want to go
Extraordinarily silly.
tangent again,
Yes.
I am going to cut in that all these wrestlers are in action figure form in a restaurant downtown called Culgan's.
No way.
They have them lined up around the walls.
Ever wild.
What?
I was like, oh, I know that one from Cyndi Lauper's video.
For what? In Culligan's, they got wrestlers lined up on the wall?
They have, remember they used to have the play set and the little rubber form of the wrestler,
Okay.
and they had a wrestling ring. It was made of plastic.
And Culligan's is
It's
Just
a restaurant.
for people who don't know, it's a restaurant downtown in Sudbury, Ontario.
And they have all of those wrestlers all around the walls. I just thought it was an interesting way of decorating a great restaurant, but interesting way of decorating.
I would personally love that.
Boo, you playing any new games?
No.
And that was reviews by Boo. Tune in next week. What are you reviewing next
All right.
week, Boo?
If there's anything I could say, guys, I finally finished Mad Max, but I don't know. I'm just. I guess you got to that point there where you're kind of glad that you finished it. It's a game that was a little drawn out.
So not as
For
fun
me.
as Arkham or
Well,
Middle Earth?
only for the sake that it was a lot more repetitive, and I didn't feel like that he had added enough content to kind of make me feel like I wanted to go through the story in terms of anything on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking the little extra fluff that they always throw in there to say that they keep you busy while you're trying to drive through the story. Well, when you have an open world, you get that effect where you kind of go wherever you want, whenever you want, right? But if you feel like you're just over that idea and you still have a lot to do and you just don't care, then that's a bad feeling when you've got an open world game. So for me, that's what got to that point. I almost had a bit of a flaw too, actually. I got to a point where I'd say had finished the entire clearance of all of the side quests, and then a save file didn't decide to want to load one day. And I'm glad you guys weren't there to see that.
Inconsistencies!
Well, that's pretty consistent though, with my luck anyway. But I just didn't like the fact that I couldn't figure out how to fix the problem, but it turned out to be.
So let's say I scared Kathy and Robin, more than they were scared at the Changeling. When I just shouted that out.
Well,
Anyways,
I was,
carry on.
Falling asleep because I'm not into video games, so this is my nap time.
Next
let's just say it's over.
Next
then.
time you need to review a Doctor Who video game, Boo.
Doctor Who video game.
They do exist. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I never really considered it.
Or Disney.
Alright, so carry on.
Ew.
Ew.
No.
Excuse me, Kingdom Hearts. Excuse me.
Ew. No, I'm joking, guys.
You
no,
are
that's,
not going to live all the
I
way
could
to your
see.
car.
I could see the appeal. I just never grew up with it, so I apologize. I just don't know it. I've seen it in action.
It's
I've
like-
seen I can honestly say I.
What
see
if
the appeal,
Disney
but-
characters met Final Fantasy type characters? You
Oh,
know?
like I said, yeah, I've seen it.
And it's
It's
awesome.
like Mickey Mouse next to Cloud, that kind of idea. Where
Yeah.
what was there, key swords? I think
Yes.
involved. It was a great concept. I just was not around when I was young enough to play those machines. I was on a PC for the longest time with the family. By the time I got back to console, I had skipped that entire Super Nintendo right up until, for me, was when the Commodore Amigas and Commodore 64 computers were out. That was when I was subjected to video games immediately after the first Nintendo system. That was that gap that I had skipped as a kid. Then we went to PC for so many years, realized I didn't really care about the consoles at that point in time. Didn't grow up with a PS2, the PS1, the Super Nintendo, GameCube, and even the Sega machines, for crying out loud. I knew of them. I had friends that had them. I just never really owned them myself. So for me to skip that gap kind of made me feel like I didn't get
Missed
to
out.
feel. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for reminding me that.
You're welcome.
Crushed my heart. No.
Totally missed out.
This disappointing moment in history is brought to you by Robin. Wah, 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 wah.
Sorry, didn't mean to spit on you there.
Anyways,
Complete
what's like the
withdrawal.
first video game that you think you might have played?
For me, it's got to be Mario Brothers for
Yeah?
regular
Yeah.
Nintendo.
No,
The first.
Actually, no. It's actually probably Mario trying to save. Well, it's not even the princess from Donkey Kong going up the ladders for the Atari.
So Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong or Pong.
I think Donkey Kong might have been one of my first. That or Frogger, I'm thinking.
Frogger. Bump and jump.
The first one I actually
Everything on
remember is
the
Donkey
Atari.
Kong.
I could definitely remember like playing Pac-Man when it was still like those little tables, and you like one person would sit at the end of each table. Like I remember those.
Yeah.
That could have been easily.
talking about those arcade units.
Yeah,
that
the
sit
old
in a room
arcade.
and you
That was
have
set
two-
up like a table as opposed
Yeah.
to you stand in front of it.
Yeah, I remember those. You don't see those as much anymore.
Well, you don't see them at all
At all.
anymore.
You don't
Oh,
see
except the
arcades
You don't even see. Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Just what I was about to say. Especially when you can buy, you buy Xbox games for like $1 some, or some of them can be $5 when they come on sale. They get pretty cheap.
Some of them were free.
That's the way they want it now, anyways. Everyone's sitting in their homes and just buying stuff off the internet.
Yep.
Well, they sort of hit the wall with the Dirk, the castle one.
The castle one.
It was the first video game with 3D.
Oh, you mean
The Castle
Dragon's
3D. Okay, that one. Yeah.
Dungeon or
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yes, thank you. Yeah, that's a wonderful game, actually.
You really aren't going to make it to your car. You realize that.
Wow.
Hey, you said it. The Dirk Castle game.
The Dirk Diggler. Wait, wrong thing altogether.
Dirk
Dirk, or did you say Dirk or Dark Castle? That's the one I was trying to figure
Dirk,
out.
because that was the name of the knight was Dirk.
Dirk.
Yeah.
Dirk.
Okay.
That whole shaking of the
The screen, oh my god, it was so hard to play.
Yes.
Everybody died in like the first few seconds of playing that stupid game.
I remember,
Yeah.
I remember.
I didn't get what I was supposed to do with it.
Yeah.
And then every time I just see the shaking skeleton.
That's why I never wanted to play it. I saw it one time and I'm like, oh, this awesome game. But I was like, wait, what do I do?
People lined up for it.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
I think for me, that was a game where, as a kid,
I never played it though.
Oh, you hadn't? No.
Well, I think
I
just because I
remember
never
playing
knew what to do with it. So,
I
and plus I was young.
I think for me, are we still
Really
talking
young.
Dragon's Lair here?
Yeah.
I think the reason why for me I'm confused with that game in particular after seeing so many variations of it over the years. Like I've seen the motion sensor based version of it there where you'd have something in your hand and actually would react on screen.
Oh, you
I've
gotta
seen
use
that.
your hands? It's a
Mm,
kid's
well-
game.
Back to the Future.
But and that reminded me of
Back to the Future.
the Wii trying to kind of attempt that in its own right? But no, for me it was back in the days when you had nothing but a joystick and one button on the end of the joystick, and for me Dragon's Lair was a matter of literally memorizing which scenes you had to go one right, two left, one right in the next scene, like that. And by the time you get about halfway into the game, you realize, God damn it, that's a goddamn movie. I mean, when is this going to end? And there's no checkpoints. At least I don't remember.
Well, there
that.
was never checkpoints back in the day.
Well, the idea
There's
was
no
you had
such
to
thing as
restart the
checkpoints.
entire game.
Well,
But
yeah,
when I
you
was
gotta
watching-
put more quarters into it, buddy.
Yep.
Well, that's the version I never grew up with. I think Dragon's Lair for me was back at PC. We're talking Commodore 64 for me there. I think it was the Commodore Amiga 500 is what we had as a family, but same idea. It had that whole MS-DOS kind of approach to programming we would have no longer seen these days.
My cousin had an Amiga.
Yeah, that's an era I kind of miss actually in terms of gaming. Personally, we're talking back in the day when Space Quest, King's Quest, Police Quest,
Quest.
Quest, yeah.
Quest.
There's lots of
Giant
great
Quest.
simulators
We're
back
talking,
then, too.
and believe it or not, I mean, we've
Quest.
just seen kind of a rebirth of one in particular, King's Quest.
Yeah,
It's
King's
just,
Quest,
relaunched a different chapter of the same story being told, but from a different artist and from a beautiful, actually really great cast of voice actors, Christopher Lloyd included.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty
Great Scott!
cool. Yeah.
Back to the Future! I was frozen today! That's from Suburban Commando for people who don't know, which is a ridiculous Hulk Hogan movie. And Christopher Lloyd's in it.
And he was frozen
Today.
That day,
that day, exactly.
which was today.
Not yesterday.
Not yesterday.
Or tomorrow. It was today.
Alright, So, just before we head out, I'm just gonna talk about the Halloween movie marathon that we're doing some more for October. Thank you for all your requests, and we picked the Changeling first just because it had the most votes. We have Monster Squad potentially to watch, and we have John Carpenter's The Thing to potentially watch. What were some of the other ones that people saw out there? I think one recommendation was The Omen, Charlie Brown's Great Pumpkin, the newer Friday the 13th, and the newer Nightmare on Elm Street. So those are in contention, but hey, probably gonna give the choice to subscribers first, most likely.
Well, we have how
Watcher
many weeks
in the
here? We
Woods.
still have we have 4 weeks, right, to kind of.
Well, we got 3 more. This is the first one.
Oh,
So we already
great,
watched The
right.
Changeling. Now we got 3 more.
Number 1.
So keep recommending movies if you want us to see it, and do it on YouTube because we'll count those as those
2.
get as 2, I guess. They get more voted up, and also if you're a subscriber, your vote counts more as well. So we'll be voting on those and deciding which ones we're gonna watch in the next 3 weeks. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to leave comments below. Please subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. So this is Jpar signing out for We Promise Nothing.
Robin.
Boo. Lipp.
Kathy.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.